Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys my final recap and final thoughts on RWBY Volume 8 on Chapter or Episode 14, whichever one that's fitting for you. Anyways, this final chapter or episode of Volume 8 of RWBY, man, I literally had to get my thoughts and my recap processing in a certain order because of what's been happening here and there, so if anything else, let's just get this started, okay? I'll try to get into a certain order that's more fitting, so please forgive me if I'm a little disorganized. So I'm gonna start with this scene right here. It's the scene with the airplane and the bomb, or the plane and the bomb. We have to it that Crow tries to talk some sense at Harriet, but she doesn't want to listen to it, We have to it that Elm and Vine arrived with the help of Robin driving the ship whatsoever to stop Harriet's crazy madness. But we have to it that that the bomb was about to fall off, but because maybe of a good luck charm from Crow's holding on to Clover's pin, it didn't fall off. But unfortunately, the bomb is already set off right now, thanks to Watts hacking into it. And we have to it that Vine decides to sacrifice himself, using all of his semblance powers to cover the ship and the bomb to make sure everyone escapes, including his friends. Harriet and Elm tries to stop him, but Vine's like, just let me do this, And Crow, and before he does that, Crow and Vine share one glance at each other, and Crow flies off into the distance, As for Ironwood and Winter, they end up clashing against each other, and that Winter tries to hold her own against Ironwood, but eventually Ironwood would later on overpower her eventually, as the scene progresses. Going back into where Cinder and Neapolitan faces against Ruby and her friend, We have to it that Cinder has the advantage due to her experience as a Fall Maiden and her battle experience, As for Neapolitan, she effortlessly defeats Ruby, makes her lose her weapon, and we have to it that Ruby managed to trick Neapolitan to allow her to go for the killing blow, and knocks her off. But she gets backshotted or blindsided by Cinder, who she ends up falling, and then grabs onto Neapolitan's leg to make sure she doesn't fall. And we have to it that Cinder takes the lamp and the staff, and therefore tells Neapolitan, "You should never have threatened me, and you should never have been born," as she told that to Ruby Rose's face. And she ends up knocking Neapolitan and Ruby off. As for Blake, she tries to rescue Ruby. But we have to it that Cinder burns the string or the grappling string that Blake had on her weapon, and Blake and Ruby falls off into the falls off and disintegrates into the distance, And we have to it that Jean tells Nora to go take care of the others, And we have to it that Weiss is being manhandled pretty badly by Cinder, but Jean and Penny shows up to try to back her up, and Cinder's arm is already starting to shake in pain on her, and realizes that Salem just is back. As at the beginning of the episode, Salem was rejuvenating herself or regenerating herself, And we had to that she does a wall of fire of a distraction and fatally injures Penny. Penny, on the other hand, knowing that her time is coming to an end, and John trying to save her, we have to it that Penny asks John to do the one thing that he's at least able to do to make sure Cinder doesn't get all she wants, and that is the relics and the maiden power. John, in great agony, mental agony and reluctance, ends up having to kill Penny, and Penny has a conversation in Winter in a different world where she transfers the Winter maiden powers to Winter. Winter thanks her so much, and that she really wished and that she will never forget her. And Penny says, "Oh, I'll always be a part of you, no matter what." And we have to it that Winter says her goodbyes, and she gets the Winter Maiden powers and deflects freaking Ironwood's gunshot blast at her, and then goes into battle against Cinder. We have to it that but before they battle each other, Cinder asks John, "What the hell did you do?" And Winter shows up and clashes against Cinder and actually manages to overpower her. But she decides to give a big distraction to Winter by going after her sister, and ends up making a fire pillar bomb or a blast of fire explosion beneath Jean, and Weiss who's trying to escape. And we have to it that Weiss gets knocked off, and Winter tries to save Weiss, but unfortunately it's too late. Jean gets knocked away, but Weiss ends up falling into the abyss. We have to it that Jean tells Winter we have to go, as Cinder already smiles at the fact of what she has done, etc. We have to it that Winter swears of all life given to her that she will make Cinder pay for this. Jean tries to follow up pursuit with Winter to the vacuole portal, but unfortunately he is unable to make it. While Winter was trying to reach out for John, but unfortunately she went too fast to go to the portal, and we have to that Jean ends up falling into the abyss and disintegrates or disappears. As for Nora, she tries to go through the gate, but unfortunately is unable to, And we have to that Emerald, Oscar, and Ren are like doing the best they can to hold off the Grimm, but we had to that Winter shows up and clashes against the Grimm while she stares at the remainings of her family, her mother, her little brother, and Klein. And we have to she sheds a tear and faces it off against the Grimm. Going back to the real world where Ironwood is defeated, we have to that Cinder is greeted by Salem, and Cinder lies about RWBY and the others using the last question, and then of course they tell the truth about them using the staff to escape. RWBY was killed by Neapolitan, that kind of thing, and then everything didn't go according to plan as you wanted, And we have to that Salem says, it's fine. No cost is greater than the benefits we have now. We got 2 of the relics, and our mission here is done. And she even congratulates Cinder, although I'm pretty sure she doesn't even know that Cinder lied about RWBY being killed by Neapolitan, since she was involved with it. And Cinder used the last question of the lamp, that kind of thing. And we have to it that that Salem says, this staff creates a lot of things, but what did you create instead? Cinder says she just fed flames to the city of Atlas and Mantle, As for Watts, he is trapped in Atlas and couldn't get out, and therefore screams in anger and rage of what's happening. And we have to it that Ironwood, he was going to shoot them in vain, but we have to it that she said checkmate, and Ironwood realizes that he lost, and we see Atlas falling into the crater, and ends up crumbling into being bashed into dust. While the survivors of with Crow, Robin, Meryl, and Elm can only look at the devastation of what just happened here and there. Crow could only try to signal and call out for help of what happened to RWBY and Yang and possibly the others, but unfortunately is unable to find any signal. And there's a big river covering all of then there's a bunch of water covering all of Atlas and Mantle and whatever's that's left after it fell down, etc. And the finale ends off there. There's a post-credit scene. Where there's a first-person point of view. There's RWBY's weapon, and then there's a tree. Or should I say there's a beach, and then shows RWBY's weapon and a tree. That kind of thing. And that's about it. So yeah, I literally had to get my mind processed and had to figure out how to do this, because yeah, a lot of people are upset that Penny died since she only became human for a few minutes or something, which I won't deny the fact. Not to mention Cinder being annoying antagonist and why a lot of people hate her. But as an antagonist and as a secondary antagonist behind Salem, she is doing a really nasty, fine job, and I know a lot of people hate her, man. Even I won't deny the fact that I hate her too, but I believe she's doing a fine job causing a lot of trouble right now, etc. I mean, there's always going to be certain antagonists you're going to hate or something, either because they are written poorly or they're not just doing things correctly, or I don't know, that kind of thing. But I can see a lot of people hating Cinder. That much I can say for sure. But she knows she grew as a as a possible worse antagonist in a certain way to like use people and throw them away eventually, since their usefulness comes to an end. Like, for example, for Watts, he already destroyed Atlas and Mantle right now, so I don't know what else he can do, you know? As for Hazel, you know, he betrays Salem and dies somewhat in vain. As for Winter, she gets the Winter Maiden powers thanks to Penny asking John to kill her, you know, and yeah. And yeah, Cinder and Salem pretty much won in that fight, you know? Even though she was betrayed and lost a lot of things, she got 2 relics and etc. That's about it, you know? And Ironwood and Watts, I'm pretty sure they must be dead right now, because I don't know how Ironwood could be able to survive that kind of like fall, especially if having everything crumble upon his head or on his body. As for Watts, I'm pretty sure he's dead too, so yeah. Where's Maria and Pietro, man? Where the hell are they? Seriously. Oh, man. As for Crow, Robin, and the others, you know, man, that sucked. And the bomb, Vine sacrificing himself. Oh, man. Talk about the way how it really said, never, happily, never, ever after again. I never expected them to really be serious about that. Oh, my gosh. Anyways, don't know what's going to happen next in next volume, but yeah. Now, going overall, my final thoughts of Volume 8. I'd say it has its ups and downs, you know. The group had to separate and took different sides, and, you know, there's arguments upon them, and then they fought, and then, you know, everything was going according to plan, even though they had trouble, and Ironwood being an antagonist, you know, throughout Volume 8, and threatening to kill Mantle and its people. I'm like, what the hell? Are you really serious about this? You know, that kind of thing, and etc. Yeah, just a lot of things been going around, you know. I don't know what else to say after that, but one thing for sure, things are really looking very worse from here on out. Don't know what's really bound to happen next, but we all could like say this for sure though. We're all gonna be in one hell of a trouble once the time comes about. It really sucks. That much I can say. It really, really sucks. But what else can you do? Because, you know, Salem and Cinder, they pretty much have no moralities or have nothing to hold them back. They use people to whatever means to an end, and that's about it. So, yeah. It sucks that it had to end it like this, you know. And Penny, man. What sucks about it is that she was human, and now she only became human for a few minutes, like many people said. And that is the worst. Really the worst, man. I mean, they literally just killed her off, you know. And I can see a lot of people being very upset about Cinder, and then everything that's considered. Watts is gone, and, you know, etc. Oh, man. I can't believe Penny had to be killed, man. What the hell? And Cinder, man, oh man, I can see a lot of people why they hate her as a character and as an antagonist, because how she was written or how she is or what they're doing to her, you know. So I don't know what's gonna happen next, but yeah. If I had to say it myself, it had a lot of ups and downs, you know. I don't know what happened to Pietro and Maria. That's my question. They showed up like for like maybe half the chapters or episodes of Volume 8, and they're poof, gone. As for the Ace Ops, my gosh, they gotten smaller and smaller in this volume. They lost Clover last volume, and then they end up losing Marrow defected. Vine's gone. Elm, Harriet are the only ones left, and Robin and Crow, and I don't know what happened to the Happy Huntresses, you know. And yeah, Winter gets her Winter Maiden powers, while Ren, Nora, Oscar, and Emerald are in Vacuole fighting off the Grim, and, you know, Jacques is dead, that's for sure. Yeah. A lot of things. Like I said, there's been a lot of ups and downs here and there, you know, but it is what it is. We're going to have to see what happens in the next volume at the end of this year. Don't know when that's going to show up, but I'm pretty sure it could show up at the end of this year, hopefully. We'll have to find out. So, until then, people, that's about it. Has its ups and downs, and, you know, it is what it is. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Ta-da!